Okay, everyone, let's continue. Let's do another review of the changing of the immutable data types. Okay, and we are going to use another example of the code here. So we created x to be 3, so x and refers to 3. And then if we do y equals x, and then we have the x and the y, they both refer to the same integer, which is 3. So even though we have two variable names, but in the memory, we only have one instance of 3 there. Okay, and the next line, we want to assign y to be 4. Okay, so here, we can't really erase the 3 and then write down a 4 there because that is an integer that's immutable. So what Python will do for us is Python will create another instance as the integer 4, and then Python will eventually assign or refer the name y to the integer 4. So eventually we will have x refers to 3 and then y refers to 4. Okay, and then when you print x, and then x will still be 3, and it makes perfect sense. Okay, well, this is just one example, and even though we started from here, x and y refer to the same object, when you change y, what you did is you're going to have y as a new value, so you change y, but you don't change the value of x. Okay, so that is for immutable data type. And eventually, let's see another one. Well, remember for the list, and we say they are mutable data types. So when we say they are mutable, this means when we want to make some changes, and changes can happen in place. Okay, so let's see another example. Well, we have the A to be 1, 2, 3 as a list, and then B equals A. So when we do this B equals A, and then we're gonna have this part, and that is A and B both refer to the same object, and that is a list. So that's okay. So far so good, right? And if we do A append 4, A append 4, and we are gonna add one more value 4 to the list, and this happens in place. So now you see the difference. When we change the A, B got changed too, right? Because that list is a mutable data type. And then when we change A, the change of the A happens in place, so A and B both got changed. And let's go back to this example. So for this example, x and y both refers to 3, but when we change y, we eventually have to create a new object for y. So we change the value of the y, but the value of the x still remain unchanged. And that's the difference between mutable data type and immutable data type. And in Python, this is very confusing. And then when you do the coding, sometimes you may find the code may act in a weird way, especially when you are touching lists. Okay, so let's do an exercise. So we say A is 81, 82, 83 as a list, and then B is B equals A, and then we update the B's index 0 to 5. And after that, if you want to print A, what are you going to get? So think about it. The answer should be B. But why? Because A and B both refer to the same list. And then when we change B, A will get changed too. And how do we change B? We are taking out of the 81 and then we plug in a 5 onto the index 0. So the list will be 5, 80, 82, and 83. So that will be B. So even though we change the B, but A will get changed too. Okay? Okay, and another question we want to ask is, well, if we do this one, if we do this line of code, B equals A, B equals A doesn't really make a real copy, right? So that is a shadow copy because nothing got copied. A and B, they both refer to the same object. And then how do we do a real copy? And a real copy can be done with two ways. And number one, it can be done with slicing. Well, this is a weird slicing because we didn't specify where to start, we didn't specify where to end. However, since by default we start from the very beginning, by default we end at the very end, so we actually got a slice of everything of this list. However, this will be a real copy. Okay, and another way to do a real copy is, well, you just grab the old list and then you force it to be a list. So you are forcing a list to be a list, so nothing got changed. But in this way, you also get a real copy of the list. When I'm saying a real copy, I mean something like this. So I'm assigning 81, 82, and 83 to A, another 81, 82, and 83 to B. But in this case, A and B refer to two different lists. They just happen to have the same values, 81, 82, and 83. So in this case, you change B, and then A will remain unchanged. So this case, it will be A. Why? Because A and B, they have exactly the same value, but they are two different lists. Okay? So well, here are some of the methods we want to talk about. Well, but I think I want to pause the video here, and I will continue in the next video.